So this is the first time you've taken Long from first base and brought him into a game like that. How do you think he handled that? And did you have any thoughts about not doing it since, with the warm-up thing and all that, or just like strategically it was the right thing to do?
Well, honestly, truthfully, we sat down before the game and said, we're going to split the game with you and Jack at first because we want to see how you respond coming off the field in a closed situation. So, truth be told, it worked perfectly to what we wanted to do because we wanted to learn to see how he would handle that. The only thing that made it a little challenging was he was on deck, if you recall, in the inning before, so he didn't have that opportunity to go get loose in the pen in a traditional way. But that aside, there's nothing really traditional about this year, so that we've been preaching that to our kids just to be ready for anything. But I thought he handled it. I thought he handled it wonderfully.
Jacob.
Tracy, the bullpen yesterday and today were very good. And I know today there was a little more traffic and it seemed like they had to get through more difficult situations, but you guys have been very strong out of the bullpen. I'm curious, just your thoughts on those guys' performance yesterday and today now.
Well, I think what you're seeing is guys getting comfortable and realizing, and we've talked about it, guys are going to have to step up because, with some of the guys going down and all the innings that we have to make up. And sometimes when that I'm the man now and I have to do it, it creates a little bit of a different mindset. You're not always looking over your shoulder. So what I've noticed with those guys is they're comfortable. They're not worried necessarily. And I'm not saying, don't take this the wrong way, but about the result. They're doing a really, really good job of just focusing on executing the pitch that is called. And then the result will, if you do that well enough, often enough, then good results will follow. But I've been, we've called on a lot of different numbers out there, and all the guys are doing a really, really good job of being ready to compete.
Kevin.
Coach, you guys were 4 for 8 leading off the inning in this game. How important is it you guys stressing getting the leadoff man on?
Well, in baseball, anytime, it's not something to stress. It's something you want to happen. I think we bailed them out a couple of times on the ground. They got out of the double plays. It turned a couple double plays, but it's key. You got 3 outs in an inning, so if you can get that first guy on, it certainly increases your percentage of scoring.
Cool.
Hey, Coach. Tyler Thornton, it looked like sort of struggled in the middle innings once again, as he did last week. What were sort of your thoughts on his start, and what do you think he needs to work on going forward?
Well, he did it. It's kind of my fault. He was tiring a little bit, after the 5th. We tried to get another inning out of him, and of course, he gave up the solo home run, and that one's on me because he shouldn't have been in there. And but you ask a starter to give you 5 with a chance to win, particularly the way that we're doing it. So I don't look at it as a particularly a bad performance, a struggle. He went 5 innings and punched out 6 and didn't walk anybody. And sometimes you have to tip your cap to the opposition in doing what they did. They hit the ball over the fence, and at this level, that's pretty hard to do. So he did his job, and we needed him to go 5, and that's exactly what he did. And we were still in position to win that game, and ultimately did. So honestly, I was pleased with his performance today.
Jacob.
With Justin just getting the 1 out, I know you wanted to test Ethan and see how he would respond coming off of first and then starting to pitch. Was there also a factor there of just trying to preserve Justin a little bit for tomorrow? What was the decision there?
No, rarely, our whole motto is we're going to win this game, one game at a time. It's just the matchup was better. Their hitter coming on deck or up to the plate struggles with breaking balls, and we just felt like Ethan's breaking ball, particularly from the right on right matchup, was a better situation for us percentage wise.
Jeff.
You're hitting in the 7th inning, starting with Sean and Kai and then Pivarov I mean, that's kind of what you're looking for, right? Like you said, you can't depend on the home run. So you need to get up there and be able to push some runs across in that kind of situation with those guys.
Yeah, they were just good at bats. Guys were trying to move runners and situationally, and they happened to go through. So the execution was phenomenal. But when you're looking at it from a coaching standpoint, you're looking at, is the guy trying to do what he's supposed to do? The hit is either going to, you don't really have control over that, but what you have control is how you work the at bat. And I really thought our guys did an excellent job of working the at bats properly in that situation. And I'll say it again, if you do that enough, you're going to play consistent baseball and come out on the winning ledger more often than not.
Jacob.
With regard to tomorrow's game, have you guys thought about who might start? And then also, do you kind of plan for the Friday and the Sunday games to look similar from personnel standpoints? How are you kind of going about this at this point?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, your first answer would be we're going to start Justin Fall tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, we're going to do it a little bit unconventionally. And what I mean by that is not the traditional 3 starters and probably get 5 or 6 out of a starter. We feel like we've got some great pieces. And if we can play the matchups throughout the game with the quality arms that we have in that bullpen, we feel like we're going to get to the 6th and 7th with our bullpen intact, much like we did today.